Hello everybody to the fourth video of this podcast, the VASmalltalk C-API. In this video we will talk about the simple synchronous call with a callback from the external function to Smalltalk. Well, how does the synchronous call with callback works? The synchronous call with callback looks pretty much like the synchronous call we have known earlier. During the evaluation of your Smalltalk code, an external function call is done or is initiated, and to have a callback you need at least one parameter. This is the address of the Smalltalk function called from the external function. The main execution thread now jumps to the external library and executes the external function, and within the external function it is called back to Smalltalk again. Some Smalltalk code is executed. The return value is optional, a return to the library. Some additional computation is done here, and then the external library returns at the end of its life and returns perhaps some results to Smalltalk, and then Smalltalk code is running again. Although it's looked pretty similar than synchronous calls, we have, at least for Smalltalk, pretty difficult situation. Smalltalk code is now running during the total life of the external function call. This means if Smalltalk code is running, this means that the garbage collector can be used, can be triggered. This also means that if you give parameters to the external function, due to the callback and due to this small running Smalltalk code, the addresses of the parameters may change, and therefore you have to be very careful in this situation. Although you are doing a synchronous call, you have to be careful with your parameters, considering to be made fixed, or you put your parameters into operating system memory space. Although this feature looks promising, it doesn't give you asynchronous callback into Smalltalk, which means, hey, I have an instance of the ESEntry which is the library feature you have to use when giving them the address point of the Smalltalk function. Although you have defined this ESEntry, you're only allowed to use this ESEntry within the call to the external function. It is not allowed that the external function perhaps start an additional thread and uses this function, the address of the ESEntry perhaps outside the regular life of the external function call. The result is pretty easily foreseen. It makes the VASmalltalk image crashing very, very frequently. And in general, this call has to be made, this function call has to be made from the GUI thread and not from the background thread. Now to the example. We have defined a special function in our external Pascal library, which is named long-term action do callback. It is called using the C library. It is in this library. It is in this dynamic link library. This function has only one parameter. It is the address of the Smalltalk function to be called from the external library, and it does not return any value. To get something like address of a function, we have to use instances of the class ESEntry. This is done here. You can see this here. Then ESEntry gives you a definition of an address of a function in Smalltalk, or an address of a method. The receiver of the callback is the receiver itself, which is now in the instance of MS callback test. The selector, the method called in Smalltalk, is a callback function. It has one parameter, and it should be called in a standard call way. And the callback function therefore is called by the external function, and This is the content of our Smalltalk callback function. Just does a transcript output. And therefore we define an entry point, we define the external function, and then we call the external function in a synchronous way with the address of our callback, Smalltalk callback function. After everything has been done, we unbind the entry point and then we close the library. On the Pascal side, we have this long-term action do callback, which is here defined. This one has an address to the callback function, the T1 int arg procedure, which is a definition how the given function is defined. It has one parameter, long int. As the callback function, it has one integer, as it is defined here. The function itself is a long-term running function, and therefore synchronous calls. The GUI will not be respondable. For 15 times, it just wait for half a second and then do a call back to Smalltalk and gives the waiting time to Smalltalk, and then it should be printed in the transcript window. Okay, now let's start it. What is going on here?